talk about how we do it. So, when we're thinking about evocative scenic design, we're sort of asking ourselves this question: how can you create an environment that suggests what you want it to be? How can you create an environment that suggests what you want it to be? How do we make the audience think about being in a Navy Yard without actually flooding the stage and filling it with giant ships? Well, that's it. You can use furniture or objects in this space, right? When we were thinking about that Navy Yard, you pointed to that big giant sign, right, that told us where we were. We pointed to the sort of nose of the ship there, right? That was not actually connected to any larger ship. It was just that little section, right? With the apartment, we were looking at, well, it's got couches, it has furniture, it has bookshelves, right? It looks homey, right? So you can use furniture or objects in this space to tell us what kind of a space it is. That being said, furniture and objects don't necessarily need to be used literally. So for example, when we're thinking about creating scenic design in here, all you have to use are chairs, but they don't have to be used as chairs. If you wanted to stack them on top of each other to suggest a ladder, because you were supposed to be at a burning building, right? You're fireman in a burning building or something. You are using those furniture, even though you're not using them as they were literally intended to be used, right? So don't get bogged down in a chair is a chair is a chair is a chair. A chair can be whatever you want it to be, as can any other object.
Oh fuck, I gotta do a red alarm next week.
Mark, you should be putting this in your notes, honey. I mean, you're not, but. You can also use your bodies, right? One of the things that we talked about when we were looking at the Navy Yard photo was how small the people looked in comparison to the objects in the space, right? So we obviously we can't necessarily make things that are much, much, much larger than us, but we can make ourselves smaller, or we can stand far away from things so that they look bigger in comparison, right? So we can use our bodies to create an environment that suggests what we want it to be. And much like furniture, our bodies do not need to be used literally. People can stand in for other things in this space, right? So if we do not have, for example, if that was supposed to be instead of a Navy Yard, if it was supposed to be like a Statue of Liberty or something like Ellis Island kind of thing, we could have a person standing on a chair holding something and lifting their arm up, right, looking like the Statue of Liberty. They're not moving, they're not speaking, they're just posing in that way that helps us to create that environment, right, that place. You also want to consider how people move, behave in, and interact with the space. This can give the audience clues about the location, right? So if you have chairs set up in rows, if you have chairs set up in rows and people come in going, go team, go team, go team, where do you think those what do you think those rows might represent?
Audience.
Right, like bleachers, right, at like a stadium. If you have people, so if you have those chairs, same chairs set up in the same way, they're set up in rows, and people come in quietly, and they sit down quietly, and they all face forward, where do you think they might be?
The church.
They could be in a church, right? Did we move the chairs? No. Did we rearrange them in any way? No. But the way that we interact with that space can give us clues about what it is. It could also tell us, right, if this is, so it might be a house, right, and we all sort of interact with houses in a variety of ways. If it's a house and everybody comes in and they're in a good mood, it might be a birthday or it might be a holiday, right? If everybody comes in and they're very quiet and they sit down and sort of don't talk to each other, maybe it's a funeral, right? So the way that people move in a space can tell us about what is going on in that world, right? That world of the play. I have a couple more bullet points to add to this slide, but before I do we have any questions about how we evoke place in our standing design?
¿Escuchaste lo que dijo? Evoke.
It's made of a new verb, evoke, to evoke. Elise, put the phone away. All right. You can also use sounds. You can also use sounds to help to make the audience think about that location. If the stage was empty, the stage was totally empty, and you heard cricket noises, and you heard birds chirping, and you heard an owl go hoo hoo, where do you think you might be?
The forest.
The forest, right? Is there anything on stage to suggest that it's a forest?
No.
No, but the sounds can help us to think, oh, I wonder if this place might be a forest. You could also use furniture or you use bodies, right? You could have people stand on stage and be like, I am a gnarly tree, right? And then you could have these forest sounds and that could contribute. Or you could just use sounds. Think about what are the sounds of the space. And think about what those sounds can tell the audience about that place, right? If it's a place that's supposed to be really loud and everything is really quiet, something bad has probably happened, right? Like, have you ever been in the school on like a Saturday when there's nobody here and it's really quiet?
No.
It's weird. The hallways are normally full of people and it's normally busy and loud, and when you walk them and there's nobody here and it's really quiet, it's a little spooky, right? You can do that to your audience, right? You can create that kind of spooky vibe by creating a space that's supposed to be full of people, making it totally empty and totally quiet. Diego, put the phone away. Diego, put the phone away or I'll take it away. You can also use lighting. We saw that in both of the examples that we looked at. Good morning. Yeah, right here. Yeah, bring your bag. In the Navy Yard photo that we looked at, what time of day do we think that was?
It looks like a sunset or like the sunset.
Okay, why did we think that it was the sunset?
There was like an orange color.
Right, there was this orangey color in the background. That can tell us about the time of day. Time of day is part of the world of the play, right? Think about whether this is a bright place or a dark place. That contributes to that mood, right? Like, is it spooky or is it not? Is this a place that is naturally or artificially lit? Do you want your audience to think that you are outside or inside? Mark, put the phone away. Do you want your audience to think that you are inside or outside, right? Naturally or artificially lit? Oh. Okay. And then lastly, what we were just saying is a day or night. Time of day is part of this setting, right?
Isn't it the same thing as the first one?
No. Because it could be nighttime, but it could be a bright place, right? Like, because you could be inside. But you want to think about, like, is this a place that has a lot of shadows where things are hidden or potentially hidden? Or is this a bright place, or maybe it's like too bright, right? You ever walk into a place and you're like, oh my God, why have you done this to me, right? Sometimes like hospitals are really super crazy bright like that. That can tell us about what kind of a place it is.
How many slides are left?
I don't know. I can look. One. any of this evocative scenic design stuff? We're feeling like it all makes sense?
Yes. It's starting to add up.
Okay. Alright. Good. Well, I like to hear.
No.
I'm baby sex.
Did you go to mention said you want this thing?
You did.
Alright, you guys ready? Okay, one more slide. And it is this one. You don't have to write anything for this one.
Oh, yeah.
We're just gonna have a conversation about it.
Oh. Okay.
Where do you think that they are?
Hogswood.
Where do you think they are? Okay, what makes you think that? What do you see that makes you say that? Okay, so there's something in the background like that looks like a structure. So you think that, and they're in front of that structure, so it makes you think they are outside of a building, potentially.
The lights are like dark, makes it look like night.
Okay, so it's the darker lighting makes you think that it might be nighttime, makes you think they might be outside, right? Because they're not super brightly lit. Other thoughts on where they might be?
Hogswood.
Hogwarts. Okay, what makes you say that?
Because of different type of like separate rooms or whatever.
There are separate rooms. I see only one room.
No, like their own little team.
How do you know?
Because they're each holding like a flag and they're standing right in front of it.
Yes, they have banners, right, that have the initials of the houses. We've got Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff, and Slytherin there in a row. How are they using their bodies in this space? You just spoke to it. How are they using their bodies to show their location?
They're looking up.
They're looking up, right, and sort of over here somewhere, like they are seeing something come in. Are they standing all separately, or are they standing together?
Together.
Okay, so how big do we think that this room is?
Big. No? Small?
Not huge, right? They're not in like a football stadium and they can all stand like, 50 feet apart from each other. They are standing closer together, so it makes us think that they are inside somewhere that maybe is not huge. How could they use sound to help us understand where this is? How could they use sound to help us know where this is?
The theme song.
They could sound loud.
Right. They could make their voices sound louder, sort of echoing, right? Like they're inside of a place. All right. Very well done. That is it for notes.